Hi, family. So, one thing that I've noticed, right, as believers, we suffer a lot. As depression, we suffer under depression, we suffer under people's words, judgments. When you see them, you just see the thoughts that they are having or the things that they are saying. And yes, that is something that I had to really work on myself, right? Really, it's like when you see people, you see you and how they might perceive you, who you are, what type of person you are, especially when it comes to family matters as well. Things just happen, and because no one is perfect at the end of the day, there's a lot of healing that had to take place concerning that. Why do I say healing? Healing means it's like in a broad spectrum. It's not something as little as you take a day or two and then you heal from whatever thing has been said or thing that has been done to you by people's actions, what they said through their actions, what they did physically through their actions, and things like that. Healing goes a long way. I also understand that when you step in the faith of God and you actually work with people, not that you work physically with people, but when you choose God, right, that is the point where you have to say, I forgive you already. Yes, it's very difficult. Yes, you shouldn't allow people to stamp on you, tramp on you, hurt you. You need to be strong, you need to be brave, you need to this, you need to that. But let's take it back to Jesus. People named him, gave him bad names, they stepped on him, they spat on him, they did all the horrible things that you can think of. Jesus got it. But here we are when people do it, we fall in some type of depression or we feel some type of way, we hurt, and there's just a lot going on emotionally. Everything is just moving, things are just different, things are not the same as they used to be, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on, and you'll find yourself not praying for that person, or you'll find yourself not praying at all. You find yourself broken again. It all goes back to healing. Everything goes back to healing your past traumas, healing your let's just stick to past traumas, healing. What I've realized when I stepped into my journey of healing with God, and also having this thing that I have no social media detox, I call it social media detox, and it really took me back to healing. And guys, it's deep. It's also making me emotional right now, because when something happens, it always puts a trigger on something. And when you don't heal, sorry, I'm tearing up. When you don't heal properly, that's where it's difficult for you to forgive. That's why it's difficult to move on, to move closer to God. Why? Because you didn't heal in the first place. Everything becomes difficult. Emotionals. You are so emotional. You are so caught up in your emotions that you even didn't heal from anything, from your emotional trauma, from everything that you can think of. I feel like I'm blabbing, but I hope someone can hear my heart, and I hope someone can understand me. So where it all boils down to, people of God, that you really need to heal. Take time to heal. Heal in God. Forgiveness is so important for a believer, because if you don't have forgiveness, how do you expect God to forgive you for all your sins? And letting people go, literally letting people go, giving them to God, giving full surrender, giving them to God. That also means you'll be able to sit around the table with them. That also means you'll be able to give them gifts. Yes, I'm not saying you should be their best friends now. All I'm saying, it should be very comfortable for you to sit in their presence. That is where true healing is, and that is where true um, sacrifice as a person also comes, and that is where the humbleness of God comes. That is where the favor of God comes. One thing that I've also learned, that the favor of God follows you, especially with your enemies, especially with your enemies. Yay! When you also know you have favor from God is when your enemies, the ones that name bashed you, the ones that did the most horrible things to you, and they come to you and they sit at your desk and they have a conversation with you and they're actually giving you hugs and loving you. That also shows the favor of God. That also shows humility. That also shows the love of God shining through you. That is also when you know, hey, this path that I'm walking with God, God's hand is on my life. Yes, that is when you know God's hand is on your life. So I would like to encourage you now, fellow believers, that please heal from every trauma that you faced in the past. Doesn't matter from child to being an adult, because we can't waste any more time on busy with unnecessary things and just doing the work of God and just being happy, just being happy. Yes, every single day it will be a challenge, but it is possible. You can do it. So please, I encourage you today, and may the love of God be with you, and may He strengthen you in every aspect of your life, every decision that you have to make, in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Love you. Bye.